Mwah. Hi. Step back, sister.
Are you kidding? I've been waiting a long time for this.
Okay, a lot of ground to cover right off the bat. Ro is a member of our party now, and she has a new attack icon to discuss. We'll take care of these attack robots right quick. And now that we have the true view torque, we can actually see how much life they have left after an attack. That's handy. So, Ro can attack using Mistech. Right now, she's equipped with Fire Slag and can perform 2 levels of attack with it. We'll get into why she can't use the top 2 attacks later. So, the base attack isn't amazing damage-wise, but it does cause a lingering fire damage effect on the rowboat, just as the Bindlebags did. Nearly every Mistech type has a side effect like that. Note of course that the Mistech attacks consume some of her energy bar, and unlike the shield, that energy doesn't regenerate after the battle. We'll have to consume Glodens or bots to recharge. The consumption isn't very high yet for these attacks though. I feel bad for fighting these robots, they have such cute puppy faces. So, as we come out of the fight, Ro explains what the hell just happened. I'll paraphrase. Like Ro said in the cutscene just after they were stranded in space, it wasn't her Mistech experiment that caused Sunder to explode. Rather, whatever anomaly split the planet in half caused the dormant energy in the Mistech to activate. And considering one scientist we talked to on our way off planet mentioned that his colleague had a shelf full of Mistech start to glow, we can theorize it didn't just happen to her Mistech, but to Mistech everywhere. So, Grumpus was right in his theories about Mistech having hidden power as well. At this point, we're gonna start using Mistech in battle, like we just did. For a start, we need to find more slags of Mistech so everyone can have one. There are 7 different types of effect Mistech can have, and some slags will have more powerful attacks than others. You'll be able to tell a bit from how they're named. A character using Mistech also needs an energy source, which is your shield unit. Most shield units have an excess of energy that doesn't get used to power the shield, and that's what you use to power your Mistech. You can also choose to equip a shield cell but not put any energy towards powering your shield, leaving your character with less defense, but with more Mistech energy to use in battle. Now we get a lot of text to explain that Mistech's status effect can both hurt foes and help friends. Like, using Fire Slag on an enemy gives them the burning status effect, but if one of your guys is suffering from the burning, you can use your Fire Slag on them to get rid of it. I'm not actually sure if, like the game says here, you can use Mistech on the caster himself. That's gonna be worth a try. think this little graph we're supposed to be seeing is either unfinished or not showing from the right angle. It's not terribly important either way. What Ro's saying here is each higher level of Mistech attack consumes twice the energy that the previous tier consumes. So as we find better, stronger Mistech, we're going to be consuming a lot more Glodents and other irradiated vermin to replenish that power. So that's going to change things up a little. When I normally play, I tend to save Mistech for bosses and strong enemies that have lots of health. Like battle skills, Mistech attacks have the great advantage that they can't miss. Another new thing that's come up, we now have 4 party members, but you can only have 3 members in your party at any given time. So we'll be switching people out and back in. This hangar is our meeting spot. Here's something you can easily miss if you're clicking past dialogue. Ro puts 3 Colossum shield cells in our party inventory. These are an upgrade to our old pre-owned shield cells. We'll bring Ro and Grumpus along for now. These Colossum shield cells double our shield and double our energy pool for Mistech. We do have a few new stats available. Misspeed and Missblock probably speak for themselves. Your character's ability to do more Mistech damage and to diminish the damage they're taking. Miss Power indicates how strong the currently equipped slag of Mistech is. Miss Affinity, however, tells you literally the character's affinity for this type of Mistech. For instance, Ro's affinity for Fire-type Mistech is just good, but her affinity for Poison-type is great. Every character is best at using one type of Mistech, alright at a few others, and really terrible at one. That means they won't be able to utilize all the slag's available attack levels. And of course, now that this game's version of magic has been unlocked, wisdom comes into it. I'm not certain how it works. I just assume that the more wisdom you have, the less energy you consume on an attack. That's the only thing I can think of. So here's the lowdown. We got tractor beamed onto planet Democritus, or at least the orbital space station of Democritus. They'd love to help us repair a shuttle, but they're on some kind of high alert and are too busy. So we may have to look into whatever emergency this is. More rowboats ahead. Well, we haven't seen Ro's beat weapon yet. It's Mobius Wave, a ranged attack. Missed. As for our newest party member, her stats aren't bad. She leans mostly towards fighting with Mistech, but I always feel like she misses more attacks than the other guys. It might just be the game's difficulty ramping up, I'm just not sure. Let's look at some of the new battle skills we've acquired. I hadn't had a chance to use them yet. Staff Sweep is a real combat bookender. It hits all the enemies on the screen with, I believe, double beat damage. one rowboat survived. Well, let's check out Ro's starting battle skill, which is Plasma Wall. For all intents and purposes, it's identical to Staff Sweep. Simple, but useful. Democritus is awesome. Up until a few months ago, it was ruled by an emperor and they had no contact with other civilizations. Then the emperor got overthrown, and in some delirious attempt at making their former dictatorship as little dictatorship-like as possible, they ended up with Democritus, a planet where everyone gets to vote on everything. Still, the place is run by a high council, and as we'll find, everyone's not as equal as they'd have you believe. Let's see if we can threaten our way past this guy. Well, I don't think this is getting us anywhere. Let's let someone else have a try and be a bit more civilized about it this time. Now we're getting somewhere. So, if we want to get in and see the High Council, we're going to have to vote in today's election, and get all the answers according to what the High Council actually votes. Vote Town. Well, we gotta get talking to these Democratans if we want to find out how to vote. I feel drawn to this guy. No, we're not done yet. Okay, let's get on with this. Nobody told me anything about paying to vote. Eat a dick. You know what? I don't like this guy's attitude. I'm doubling down on this. Do your worst. Let's see how far we can take this. Haha. All right, now let's squeeze him. Yes! For the record, I don't think you actually can get that free night at the end. They didn't program it correctly. Eight ballot issues to vote on. Sorry, what? This tip about looking out for allies of the council with 6 pearls on their head is not very useful. The blurry textures make it very hard to make out whether they have 6 pearls or just 4 or 2. Oh, this poster is about one of the propositions. So, no on Proposition 2. Some of the ballot answers get randomized every time you play the game, so no cheating. Every vote counts. I'm seeing problems with this system. I'll take your word for it. Okay, let's have a bit of background on this place. Votown is this ringed space station surrounding the planet Democritus. If the voting public is too dumb to make the best decisions, ooh, this is getting way too topical. Anyway, the High Council is made up of representatives from each of the 8 sections of Votown's rings. The High Council's votes don't count any stronger than any other Democratans in their daily votes, but people actively try to find out how the Council is going to vote and try to vote accordingly. And the Council intentionally leaks its voting choices to facilitate this. Starting to see how this is kind of not very democratic? Well, thanks anyway. Be sure to check every nook and cranny of Votown because there's a lot of interest stashed away. Speaking of nooks and crannies, here's a door we can lockpick. In this little room we find a slag of Banewave, Mistech. Boots has great affinity for this, but Grumpos' affinity is excellent, so that's for him. What does Bane do? Yeah, we'll get into that when we next go into battle. Over here we got a data port. We'll have to remember that for later when we bring Pal along. Looks like some kind of rally here. Let's hear what he has to say then. If you look real carefully, you can see this guy does have 6 burls on his head. Wearing him down is a job for Grumpos. Take him outside, Grumps. No on Proposition 6. I think this one's actually always the same. Yeah. Ah. Share it, bozo. Oh, you dick. Fine. Oh, hey, is that a Cortican? Sorry, dude, no luck. If you'll remember from the museum on Center Station, the Democrats actually built some kind of floating city, except it broke in half. Nice to get an outsider's perspective. Well, that's not helpful.